In the description section of this video, there is a link that will lead you to a documentary that I saw on overpopulation and how many people this world could hold, with its resources and such. I knew about this before I saw the documentary, but this documentary is basically evidence to my thoughts and my theories on why there's so much violence that's promoted in this world, in the media, and on television and everything that we see. It makes sense to me now. Okay, basically this world is overpopulated. There's more people than resources available in this world, and with the draining of the resources, it's making it harder, on the planet. And what's ending up happening, there's more people starving in other countries. There's more people that don't even have access to water. Alright, and over here, especially in America, we are living beyond what we need, and we basically exploit other countries in order to live the way that we do. So we have access to a lot of things, but other countries, they don't really have access to much. So they're trying to figure out a way to limit population growth. And in other countries, for China for example, they came up with the one-child policy. So that was their way to try to limit population growth. Alright, they did some crazy things in other countries. I think it was India, where they even had vasectomies for the men, and where they would give people money, to get a vasectomy, to limit population growth. I believe they even had criminals forced vasectomies as part of their punishment, and that obviously created an uproar in the public. So in America, they were trying to figure out a way to limit population growth without having to go through direct government policies, which would basically put people's liberties in question, and a lot of protests and such. So in America, they don't make it direct, saying you can only have one kid. They have it where they promote in school and in media and everything to kind of steer people away from having big families into having more nuclear families, maybe 1 or 2 children and nothing more than that. Otherwise you're kind of looked down upon, or frowned upon. And what they do is they keep people busy in school, in work, and away from love and more about money and career. So then people would have smaller families. So then their energies will not be directed to their families, but it will be more directed towards their career, towards money. And I've always seen this, but I didn't really have the evidence to show. But this documentary, you'll see the evidence that this is what's going on. And that's why there isn't the promotion of love. Because the promotion of love will inevitably lead to bigger families. When you have a couple that's in love and all they want to do is spend time with each other, then the most natural thing to occur is the creation of families, and possibly bigger families. So what they do is they destroy this promotion of love, and they promote it to violence. So they promote violence over love, because when you promote violence and you promote competition, then you make people fight against each other. When you make people fight against each other, then there's more deaths. So more deaths basically will mean less population. Alright, and if you put it into the larger scale, you promote violence, then that's why they encourage war. If they have a war and they're able to kill like millions of people, then that will be less people living in the world, and then more available resources for the people that are still living. So I see all this, but there will be really little evidence where you will see it directly said anywhere that any type of media that you see out there. But if you watch this documentary, you really pay attention, you'll see that there obviously is a population problem. And as far as the government is concerned, they got to figure out a solution. Now, rather than being direct like China and saying just one child, they do it in indirect ways here in the West. They make you feel like you have more freedom than you actually do. And they're promoting more violence above anything about compassion or love, because the violence will generate more deaths. More deaths will equate to more resources for those that are still living. So it makes sense why there's so much violence around us. Why, with all this competition, cage fighting, why they don't even put any type of regulation or control over it, and they're actually allowing it to happen. Because they kind of want people to fight. They want people pretty much to kill each other off. Because that's going to make more room for the people that are still left. And I think that's a sad way to do it. I'd rather it'd be better to just let people know what the problem is, and basically have them make the decisions to, as a result, just create lesser families in a direct way. But indirectly, I believe that it's sad when you do it in indirect ways and you end up giving life and then having that life being taken away by violence. It's better to just allow people to know what the problem is, and to basically allow them to pretty much make the right decision or the proper decision into not making it worse. But really, if you watch the documentary, you'll see it's not really, the problem isn't really overpopulation, at least in my opinion. It's more about overconsumption. Because they're speaking about how countries like India and China, for example, are living in such modest ways that if everybody lived the way that they lived in their countries, then the world would be able to hold many more billions of people. But if everybody lived the way that they lived in America, then the world can only hold a few 100 million people. So the problem is not really overpopulation, but the problem is more overconsumption and not being modest in your ways of living. So really, I wanted to create this video to basically address the issue myself and get it out there so people know that this is what's really going on. I wish I knew this years before I found out. Because I really did question why there's so much promotion of violence everywhere we go. Really, I feel that it's better that people know the real reasons of why there's so much promoted violence, so then they can make better decisions in life. And this is my way of sharing this knowledge, so then people can really make the right decisions in life and hopefully not contribute to the problem.